You're watching Young Turks. The festive season is here and we're tracking how the e-commerce space is likely to play out. I'm in conversation with Nandita Sinha, the CEO of Myntra, Atul Mehta, the Chief Operating Officer at e-commerce logistics platform Shiprocket, and Anil Kumar, the founder and CEO of Redseer. I'm looking at a TeamLease report which talks about festive season demand surge resulting in the need for more workers as well. It says overall e-commerce industry is expected to create 7 lakh gig jobs in the second half of 2023, and festive hiring is expected to see a 25% increase in gig jobs year on year. Atul, let me start by asking you, explain to me, given the kind of demand that you're anticipating, what should we expect you to do in terms of hiring?
So, we're already kicked in the hiring we need to. I think I talked about we start seeing sales a bit early on the direct commerce platform as well. But yeah, we are expecting to have almost an 100% increase in manpower to manage the festive demand load. And it's a combination of both. I think one is the actual growth we expect on account of the festive season. And also, I think a key part of a key part is also the experience which we are able to offer to the consumers, and hence running more shifts in the warehouse, ensuring the 1 day, 2 day, 3 day delivery promises are not breached, even though there is 1.5 or 2x demand on certain days, is driving that increase. So yes, we are expecting a almost doubling of the manpower we have in our warehouses to be able to manage the peak volume with an increased service levels as well at the same time.
What would that mean in terms of numbers when you talk about a doubling and 100% growth in numbers? What is the current headcount that you have? And I'm just trying to understand what that could mean.
So we operate almost 40 odd warehouses. So yeah, like you can talk about some 20-30K gig workers doubling over the next 1.5 months as we get into the festive season.
Okay, that's good news as far as the gig economy is concerned. Nandita, all kinds of big numbers are being bandied about. In Anil's words, this is likely to be historically the biggest ever festive season sale that we are going to see in the 10-year history that we've seen. What's the aspiration for you at Myntra? What's the target that you've set? What are you aiming for?
So I think I'll probably answer this in a view of saying that and we are in the 10th year of festive season in that sense. And I think one of the big opportunities that we see during the festive season is really how do you increase your customer franchise? And that's what the core goal is as we get into the festive season. Of course, there is revenue that we look at it, but I think the biggest the role that the festive season actually also plays is how do we keep increasing our customer franchise? A lot of this actually comes in from newer cities, so non-metro. Atul spoke about it. So I think one of the big goals is to really how do we go deeper into non-metros? And the team has been prepping for it in terms of adding more selection. We've added almost 5 lakh selection, which caters to non-metro. The other goal is to really look at how do you increase the how do you premiumize and diversify the category mix that you see for customers. So that's the other goal, that how do you actually ensure that categories like beauty and personal care, home, accessories, footwear, they kind of see the glory that apparel has been seeing over the last few years. And then there is premiumization as a goal, because overall, as you covered in the first part of your conversation, that there is the income, which is growing for a certain set of customers. So how do you premiumize customers as they build more comfort with e-commerce? So I think those would be some of the goals that we have. I think again, I think just a reflection of how
I'm still going to try and pin you down to I'm still going to try and elicit a number from you in terms of the goal that you have, Nandita. Let's talk about user base. You said that you aspire to deepen penetration as far as the non-metros are concerned. What is the current metro, non-metro user base mix for you, and what's the aspiration there?
Our user base today is looking at a 40-45% non-metro base and a 55% metro base. I think that's where we are trying to build more non-metro consumers in and increase their spends, because there is a real gap that actually we can fulfill in terms of the aspiration and accessibility. So that's what the goal is, that how do you take it closer to 50-50. Today, the mix stands at around 40-45% for non-metro versus metro for a platform like Myntra. So that's where I would, leave you with a number.
Okay, so a 50-50 split is what you're hoping for. By when?
Sorry, I think I couldn't hear the question.
50-50 by when?
Hoping like next year, I think as we build that base during this festive season, I think next year we should be able to go towards that journey and accelerate that journey actually.
Okay, Anil, and this is what I want to understand from you, because here we're talking about the mix changing. Nandita's talking about 50-50 split down the middle between metro and non-metro. Forget GMV. Give me your GMV estimate number, but I'm saying forget GMV because let's not obsess about that. Let's talk about, maturation as far as the user base is concerned and what that also means in terms of monetization, since we are now all talking about unit economics and profitability. You're on mute, Anil.
Sorry, I hope I'm audible now. Yeah. So, Shereen, if you look at
the go ahead.
number of customers who are shopping online on an annual basis in India, pretty much about 150 million odd, give or take. And a good 2/3 of these customers are coming from tier 2 cities, about 20% of these coming from metro, and about 15% of them coming from tier 1. As I spoke about, historically over the last 2-3 years, we've seen that the growth of the small city customers have been growing almost more than 2 times of metro and tier 1 cities. So those have been the consumers who've been joining the Indian e-tailing bandwagon for the first time. And as Nandita rightly mentioned, that Festive is a great occasion where platforms see it as one of the big opportunities to net some other first-time users onto the platforms and then have a certain kind of a retention from them. So practically we see a bump on the number of customers who shop online in Festive every year. Like, for example, last year, what we saw was there was about 25 to 30% jump in terms of the number of shoppers who started buying online first time on the Festive season. Going on to the monetization bit, I think one of the things which is happening is the category shift, as I spoke about a bit earlier, is one of the key drivers for monetization, where high margin categories like fashion, beauty, personal care are the one which have anywhere between 15 to 35% margin versus versus mobile having about 4 or 5% margin. So that is another bit which is happening around the monetization. And the other bit about offloading the expense of the overall festive season between various partners rather than platforms bearing all of it on their own, that is another bit which is helping the platforms monetize and get a better unit economics.
Okay, well, Anil, Atul and Nandita, we wish you the very best of luck. And Nandita and Atul, we will check in with you for your individual stories and your individual milestones at the end of this festive season. And Anil, we'll talk to you to get a picture as far as the ecosystem is concerned at the end of this festive season. Will it turn out to be the best ever? Is the question and is the hope. That's it then on this edition of Young Turks. We'll take a quick break and be back with you in a moment.